Hi, everyone, and welcome to the final Pet and Tech Talk before the spring term. For those of you who do not know me, I am Sarah Quist. I joined Andrew Damp this past August as the new instructional technologist. Today's conversation is going to revolve around digital bulletin boards. I'm going to review what they are and how they can be useful in your course. I'm also going to be focusing on two platforms that you and your students both have free access to using your Lakeland email. I will take time to do short demos of both platforms during this session as well. And finally, I will point out additional videos and resources on the two digital bulletin boards if you want to look further into their features. So to start, let's talk about what exactly digital bulletin boards are. So digital bulletin boards are a digital curation platform that lets both you and your students organize a mixture of content for easy access. These broad platforms can be utilized in many ways, making it a creative way to be engaging with students. If you are familiar with the website called Pinterest or even an avid user, these digital bulletin boards are going to operate in a similar fashion. Next, these boards have a range of usefulness. Digital bulletin boards are a great way to pool together course resources, create visual engaging content, organize ideas, and most importantly, foster collaboration among your students, whether they are participating synchronously or asynchronously. There are many digital platforms out there, but I'm going to be focusing on two platforms called Padlet and Wakelet. Padlet and Wakelet are both digital platforms that you can have access to through the Microsoft app. These two have many similarities between each other, but they do differ in some feature capabilities. So during my demos, you can kind of notice those slight differences, and I'll also point out some of the larger ones. And just a note that, again, instructors and students can create accounts with Padlet and Wakelet for free. So before we jump into demos, I just wanted to show some snapshots again of where these two apps are located. So entering that Lakeland email, going to that waffle menu in the upper left-hand corner, you'll get a drop-down menu. And from there, you will be able to locate Padlet as well as Wakelet in that area. So looking at the two platforms side by side, you're again going to see very common things among the two platforms. So starting with Padlet, you're going to be able to create single or multiple walls that are shareable. You can upload files directly from your computer. You have the ability to post images, videos, documents, music. You can even grab videos from YouTube and music from Spotify. The instructor is the moderator and has control of sharing and privacy settings. And both platforms have a limit on free membership. So both Padlet and Wakelet, you get 3 free um, Padlets or Wakes before needing a membership. And you can stay within that 3 range just by deleting Padlets when you're done with them. Otherwise, you can look at the different leveled memberships if you would like to have more than 3. There's always that option, but unfortunately, things are moving away from being 100% free, but they do give you at least 3. So hopping over to Wakelet, when you're on Wakelet, you create collections called Wakes to organize a mix of content that is once again shareable. Wakes can pool resources, and one big thing that Wakelet has is it's an open platform that works with app integration. So you can integrate things from your OneNote, Microsoft Teams, Flip, formerly known as Flipgrid, and a few other apps. Wakes can be individual or a collective group. And just like Padlet, you do get 3 free wakes before needing a membership. And again, that information is listed on their website if it's something that you want to look into on your own time. So let me jump into my demonstrations. So I am in my Lakeland email and I'm in my OneDrive area, and I'm going to use that upper left-hand corner waffle menu, and I'm going to start with Padlet. So once you open it up, a new tab will open for you and it will come to this home page. And from here on the left-hand side, you'll see some information about the product as well as those leveled membership fees and the ability to sign up for free using that pink button. So when you do sign up, you will follow the Microsoft button and use your Lakeland email. I already have an account, so I'm going to press log in instead, and I'm going to use the login with Microsoft. And when you first log in, you're going to come to kind of like your dashboard. So this is where all of your current Padlets live. You can go in and you can search your archived ones if you've saved any. And then on the left-hand side, you have these icons. And on the upper right-hand corner, you have the ability to search your own Padlets. You can join a Padlet. So this is if your students share like a URL to theirs, you can join it that way. And you also have the ability to make a Padlet. So before we make a Padlet, let's look at some of the features on this page. So the first icon is going to show you your recent work. The second icon is going to bring you to any of your bookmarked Padlets, which you bookmark Padlets right within, and I'll show you that momentarily. The third icon brings you back to your dashboard. The fourth icon is any Padlets that have been shared with you, so from your students potentially. The gallery is a place for inspiration as well as great examples. So you can look at how Padlet's being used by other users. You can go into the different layouts to get an idea on how to use the different templates. And then the final one is adding a team, and I'm not going to go into that during this demonstration, but if you want to learn more about teams, you can watch my demo video from the Lewid course. So going back to my home page, I have 2 Padlets already made. So let's say I want to make a new Padlet. So I'm going to press that pink button. And then from here, they're going to ask what type of template I want. And they do give you a brief description of each template to better help you figure out which one is going to work best for you. So I'm going to pick the wall, and then it's going to open up your Padlet right away. And from here, it's going to walk you through some simple steps. So the first one is naming your Padlet. So I'm just going to call it a demo. And you can give your Padlet a further description. And you can add an icon or an emoji if you want to that title. But right below that, there is a unique link to this Padlet that you can copy to your Blackboard course shell. But before you do, we're going to go into some sharing options. So you want to make sure your sharing options are to your liking before we select this link. And then we move into the appearance. So you can select a wallpaper of your choosing. They have lots of different types of wallpaper. I'm going to pick, let's see, this mountains. And then you can choose whether you kind of want it to be lighter or darker with the posts. And then you can change your fonts. So as you can see, my font is changing as I click. And then moving into posting, they go through some posting settings. So the first one is, if you want the post to show the name or leave it anonymous. I'm going to turn it on because I would like to see what students are posting or what students are not posting. You can decide how posts come in. Do you want the newest ones to be first or to be last? I'm going to turn on the ability for comments. And then another fun thing that Padlet has is this ability of reaction. So you can go beyond just liking a post. You can upvote or downvote. You can give stars, or there can be numeric scores to the post. So I'm going to go with the up and down voting. And then we go into some content area. So content filtering. You have the ability to first approve the post before it shows on the actual Padlet wall. And if you want to filter profanity. So you can toggle these on or off depending on your needs. And then content protection. If you don't want anyone to remake your Padlet, you just want to simply turn that off. And then again, if you want to map a domain, you can watch my other video that goes further in depth with that. When you have all of your settings to your liking, you can press next. And then it says you're all set, post. You can start posting. So before we do that, I'm going to hit this arrow. And I want to focus on these icons on the right-hand corner. So the first one is going to show my user menu. And the next one goes into the sharing preferences. So you can invite members. And the next one is privacy. So when you share a link, this is the sharing setting. So right now it's kept to secret, and the people who have this link can write on it. And if you press change privacy, it has 4 different settings and it explains them, what their capabilities are, etc. And right now I'm going to keep mine at secret, and I want to keep it as can write because I want my students to have the ability to post, but not change any of my posts per se. Then we go into all the different ways you can share your Padlet. So you can, again, copy that link. You can get a QR code, you can embed it, email it. And then finally, Padlet has several different exporting options, and I'll show you what an export looks like in a moment. They do have more exporting options than Wakelet, and this is a great way to save a Padlet before you delete it. That way you can post the, for example, the saved PDF to your Blackboard, and that way all of the posts and content within those posts are not lost. The second icon is if you want to remake this Padlet. So if you like the template, you like the layout, you like the settings, you can make a copy of it. You can star a Padlet so it goes to your bookmark area. Then you have an activity icon, and this allows you to see all the activity that's happening within the Padlet. And then we have a gear icon that brings you back to that first round of settings that I walked you through. The 3 dots kind of give you all of the icons in one area, as well as the ability to delete, archive, change the format. So maybe you're like, I don't like the wall, I want to go to a grid or a canvas. You can do that. And then the ability to share and export as well. So now the fun part is actually posting. So there's always going to be this blue plus button in the bottom right hand corner, and it's going to ask you for a subject name, and then it's going to give you some suggested icons. So you can upload a file, you can take a photo, you can attach a link, you can search for an image. So for example, if I press search image, I can search images from Padlet, I can look for GIFs, I can go on YouTube, Spotify, and even the web. So I'm not having to have a million tabs open. I can do everything just right here. So let's say I wanted to search for the word demo, and I'm going to select this one, and it kind of loads like a honeycomb. And I can add a caption if I want to, and then you can give a description. And some further customization, you can kind of change the color of the post if you want, and then you press publish, and there is my post. So from here, there's going to be 3 dots, and this is where you can control post individually. Here are my up and down vote and my ability to comment. So let me jump back to my home page. I'm going to show a Padlet that I've been working on that I'm building um, ideas on how to incorporate Padlet into your higher ed courses. And on this Padlet, I'm showing the variety of different posts that you can do. So I have a YouTube, I have image, I have a selfie, podcast, I have GIFs that move, I just have images. And below I have a little description of the different types of activities that you could incorporate within your course. Now, let's say I have to get rid of this Padlet, but I don't want to get rid of all of this great information. What I can do is I can press share, and then I can select which export I want. And to save time over, I've already done it. So I exported this Padlet as a PDF, and here's this Padlet in a PDF form. So my title, my description, and all of my different posts with the descriptions. And what's nice is these posts are active. So if I click on it, it's going to to that YouTube video. So when you save it to your Blackboard course, those content areas are still technically live. And to log out of your Padlet, you're going to look at those icons on the bottom and simply press log out, and you're logged out. So now let me jump into Wakelet. So again, I'm going to use my waffle menu and I'm going to select Wakelet. And now let me just back up one step so you can see how to get in. So when you first start with Wakelet, you're going to come to their homepage and you're going to use their blue button to sign up for free. And again, you're going to use that Microsoft login using your Lakeland email. I already have an account, so I'm going to select login instead. But again, I'm going to continue with Microsoft. I'm going to select my email. And now I'm into my dashboard. So when you log into Wakelet, you're going to come to the collection area, and this is where your wakes live. So before we dive into the actual creation of a wake, I want to bring some attention to this dashboard. So like Padlet, we have a menu on the left-hand side as well as the top right side. And what's a little different about Wakelet is you have the ability to search other people's Wakelets who are just using the app in general. So if you wanted to find ideas or possible resources on a topic, so let's say I want to pull resources on UDL, I can search UDL, and everyone who's made their wakes public, I can search them and I can look at them. So let's say I'm going through and I click on this person's wake and I go through all their material and I really like the resources, and there might be some resources that I want to use within my own wakes. I can use this gear button on top, and I'm going to use this little bookmark save, and I'm going to put it in my bookmark area. And now all of these resources are saved for me to come back and use or revisit at a later time. The next icon is the Explore. So this just kind of populates the most popular wakelets that are currently trending. And again, they might not have anything to do with what you're teaching, but it's kind of a great way to get ideas on how other people are using Wakelet as well as the different templates and designs and things like that. The next item is the bookmark area. So I just bookmarked this Wakelet, and this is where all of your resources live. And they stay here for as long as you have your Wakelet account. So you can use the 3-bar menu to move resources, and you can also save resources from right within the bookmark area. So let's say I wanted to bring in a PDF from my computer. I can do that, and now this PDF is saved in this bookmark area for as long as I want it to. The last icon is going to show your app integration. So if you have things in your OneDrive, or let's say you have some YouTube videos that you know of, you can go right there and save them in here for future reference. Going back to the left-hand menu, I'm going to select that collection button again, and now I'm back to my dashboard. So from here, this is where you can create a collection. But before we do that, I want to just go over the last two icons. So the one below collections is shared with me. So if you have students that start to share their wakes with you, this is where they will populate. And the final icon is about classrooms that you can create. You don't technically have to, but I do go into those in further detail in my other demo video. So I'm going to skip it just for this session. So hopping up to my collection, if I want to make a wake, I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner and I'm going to press Create Collection. Now, a little different than Padlet, it's a lot more bare and it doesn't give you the settings bar right away. So it's going to say first give your collection a title. So I'm just going to call it Demo. You can give it a further description and you can go right into adding resources or content. But before I do that, I want us to look in the top right-hand corner and there's a paintbrush. And if you select the paintbrush, this is where you're going to pick your layout, and they have little descriptions of the layouts as well. So I'm going to select mood board. And then you get to go in and you get to pick a cover image. So you can upload something from your computer. You can hop into Canva. You can choose a GIF or you can choose from Unsplash. So I'm going to search summer because I'm tired of the gloomy weather. And let's pick this one. So I can keep it as a full picture or I can drop it down to a half. And then a background. So if you just want more than that white background, you can again grab something from your computer or you can use Unsplash. And I'm going to do a texture sand because again, I am done with winter and want some warm weather. So now I have my background as well as my image, and you can go in and edit or delete these right from that paintbrush area. Now, the next icon is a gear icon, and this is where you can copy your collection, you can move it, you can save it to your bookmark area, and you will be able to export as a PDF, but right now I don't have any content, so there's nothing to technically export. If you want other people to have the ability to make a copy of this collection, you can turn it on. If you would prefer to keep things private, just simply toggle it off. And then, of course, you can delete a collection right from here. The blue share button goes into all their sharing capabilities. So if you just want someone to view your collection and not make any additions to it, you will just want to select Allow Sharing. So this is where they can see your collection. Again, publish your profile makes your collection public. And then if you just are sharing a collection out to your students as a resource to study, you would select this on, copy the link, or use QR code, embed, or put into Microsoft Teams. Now, let's say you want your students to work in the collection and add resources, add content, add things like that. You'll want to share the collaboration link instead by using this blue button, and you can press the join code or use a QR code, Microsoft Team, etc. as well. And as always, you can add people by email if you want. All right, so now that you have your settings to your liking, now you can start adding things. So you can grab and paste a web address right from here. So let's say I want to grab my Blackboard web link. I can copy and paste it right here. And I just have to enter it and it loads it right away for me. Now, let's say I want to add, you can add text. You can add an image. Again, this is where we start to see some of those app integrations. You can bring things in from your bookmarked area. So let's say I want to add this item and this item. Both of those items are now in my collection. Maybe I have a PDF that I need to find and add. And it adds right there. And again, you can grab those three dots and move things however you want to reorganize them. And then the final icon is that app integration. So you can pull things from Twitter. It will bring you to Flipgrid where you will make your video and then that video will be integrated back into that collection. YouTube, Google Drive, OneDrive, and Adobe Express. So that's something that Padlet doesn't have that Wakelet does. So going back to some of my other built up collections, let's go into this one. So this one I'm using a different template, but as you can see, I have columns that are labeled and I have videos and documents placed within each column, and I can add more if I wanted to. Now, if I hit my gear button, I have the opportunity to export this PDF. So for example, if I have to get rid of it, I can export it first. And again, I already have that exported to save time. So this is what the Wakelet PDF looks like. So my title and my image, and these links are also live as well. It's not as easy to read as the Padlet one, but that may be just because of the template I've picked. But again, you do have that option to export. Not as many exporting options as Padlet, but you do have the PDF choice. And if you want to log out, your user profile setting will right here. And this is where you can jump into other information as well as the ability to log out. So let me switch back to my slide deck. And just to summarize, because I know I went through a lot of information, some of the highlights from Padlet are it's very easily customizable. You can control privacy settings, posts are auto-saved. The platform really promotes the engagement of all students. You can remake walls, and you have that ability to export a wall as an image, PDF, Excel, or you can even print it. And you have that QR code availability. Looking at Wakelet, there's going to be some big similarities. You can save content and use it in other wakes. Again, you can share media and content. There's a variety of layouts for creative displays and engagement. You can search or save wakes by other users. That big thing is that app integration ability, and also the ability to export as a PDF and the auto save as well. And finally, if you want to get more resources on Wakelet or Padlet, you'll want to hop into that LUID course, go to that co-op discussion section and find the forum that's labeled Microsoft 365 apps. And I've starred the Wakelet and Padlet threads on the screen. And you'll see that I also have a few other Microsoft apps that you may want to check out to incorporate in your course as well. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope everyone has a fantastic spring term.